Imagine the Atlanta sun glistening off the windows of a sprawling palm-lined estate. A white Range Rover pulls into the driveway, paparazzi lenses zoom in, and who steps out? None other than Jasmine Washington, dressed head-to-toe in designer, holding her head high as if she owns the world. But here's the kicker. Whispers across the city claim this jaw-dropping $1 million mansion wasn't bought with Jasmine's money at all. Allegedly, the man behind the purchase is Kirk Frost himself, yes, Rasheeda's husband. And if that's true, it means the very foundation of Atlanta's most talked-about marriage has just cracked wide open. Fans are already buzzing. Did Kirk really pay for Jasmine's love nest? How could he betray Rasheeda like this again? Screenshots of documents, blurry photos of bank transfers, and eyewitness accounts are spreading like wildfire on social media. One insider even swears they saw Kirk touring the mansion weeks before Jasmine moved in, looking over blueprints with a realtor. Meanwhile, Rasheeda is said to be devastated, reportedly collapsing after hearing the news. Close friends reveal she sobbed uncontrollably, screaming, "Not again, not with her," while family rushed to comfort her. The betrayal, if true, is more than financial. It cuts deep into old wounds that never fully healed. And the drama doesn't stop there. Producers of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta are rumored to be circling, cameras ready, desperate to catch every explosive moment. Fans want answers. Did Kirk really fund Jasmine's lavish new lifestyle? Or is Jasmine playing a dangerous game, flaunting a mansion to stir chaos in the Frost household? Emotions are high. The city is divided. And one thing is certain. This isn't just gossip, it's war. Stay tuned, because the truth behind this mansion could destroy everything Kirk and Rasheeda built. And fans are holding their breath for what happens next. The whispers started on a quiet Sunday afternoon when Atlanta blogs lit up with one shocking claim. Kirk Frost, Rasheeda's longtime husband, had secretly funded Jasmine Washington's brand new $1 million mansion. The story spread like wildfire, leaving fans gasping and shaking their heads in disbelief. At first, people thought it was just another rumor. Another piece of messy gossip tossed around to stir up drama in the Frost household. But then photos emerged. Clear, undeniable shots of Kirk standing outside the gated property just weeks before Jasmine moved in. One picture showed him talking to a realtor. Another caught him in the driver's seat of his car parked in front of the mansion. Atlanta fans knew in that moment this was not just gossip. It was a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. When Jasmine first stepped onto the marble floors of her new home, she posted it on Instagram with a sly caption, "New chapter, new blessings." She smiled for the camera, glass of champagne in her hand, designer heels clicking against the polished floors. In the background, eagle-eyed fans noticed something curious. The same luxury SUV that Kirk often drove, parked discreetly in the driveway. The comments went wild. "That's Kirk's car," one fan wrote. Another typed, "Rasheeda better watch out. Kirk's at it again." Soon, hashtags started trending #Kirk's secret mansion, #Jasmine win, #RASHEEDA betrayed. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided before anyone even spoke publicly. Back in their household, Rasheeda's world started to crumble the moment she heard the whispers. She confronted Kirk late one evening, her voice shaking, tears threatening to spill. "Tell me the truth, Kirk," she demanded, standing in their living room with her arms crossed. "Did you buy Jasmine that house? Answer me right now." Kirk, visibly uncomfortable, rubbed the back of his neck and muttered, "It's not what you think. She needed help." "It's not like that." Rasheeda's eyes widened, her voice rising. "Not like that. You mean to tell me you put a roof over another woman's head, the same woman who tore this family apart, and it's not like that?" Her words echoed through the house, and Kirk had no reply. The silence was louder than any denial he could have given. Fans were shocked when an insider revealed what happened next. Rasheeda reportedly collapsed onto the couch, clutching her chest as family members rushed in. Her mother screamed for water, while Kirk just stood there, frozen, realizing that this time the damage might be irreversible. "You've embarrassed me again," Rasheeda sobbed, her voice breaking. "After everything we've been through, after everything I forgave, you do this." Kirk tried to interject, but the words caught in his throat. He knew nothing he said could erase the sight of Jasmine posing in that mansion, smiling like she had won some cruel game. Jasmine, meanwhile, played her role to perfection. She went live on Instagram just hours after the news broke, her hair flawless, her smile calm but calculated. People always got something to say, she told her viewers, sipping wine casually. "A woman can't have nice things without y'all assuming a man paid for it. Please, I work hard. I deserve this." But fans weren't convinced. Thousands of comments flooded the live. "Girl, stop lying. We saw Kirk." Another typed, That house screams frost money. Jasmine ignored most of the negativity, but at one point she looked straight into the camera and smirked. Funny how pressed some people get when they see me happy. The timing, the attitude, everything about it felt like a dagger aimed straight at Rasheeda's heart. The Frost children weren't spared from the chaos either. One of Kirk's older kids reportedly confronted him, saying, "How could you do this to Mom again? We had peace for once." Kirk snapped back, "You don't understand the pressure I'm under. You don't know the whole story." But the damage was already done. The children felt torn between loyalty to their mother and frustration at their father's choices. Emotions ran high at every family dinner, whispers replacing laughter, tension replacing the warmth that once held them together. In Atlanta, neighbors near Jasmine's mansion began talking to. One neighbor claimed she saw Kirk's car parked overnight more than once. Another swore she overheard an argument coming from inside the house. Jasmine yelling at Kirk about papers and money being late. These rumors only added fuel to the fire, making fans wonder if Kirk was not only funding Jasmine's mansion, but possibly trapped in a financial arrangement he couldn't escape. Blogs had a field day, posting headlines like "Kirk Frost's $1 million betrayal" and "Rasheeda left in tears as Jasmine lives it up." Every outlet wanted a piece of the story, and with each passing hour, the scandal grew bigger. Rasheeda's closest friends, including Carly Red, were quick to voice their opinions. Carly, never one to hold back, reportedly told Rasheeda, "Girl, I told you years ago, he would never change. This right here is proof. A man who buys another woman a mansion has no respect for his wife." Rasheeda, with tears in her eyes, whispered, "I wanted to believe he changed. I wanted to believe we could move forward." The pain in her voice struck everyone around her, making it clear this wasn't just about money, it was about trust, betrayal, and a wound that refused to heal. At the same time, fans began choosing sides. Some sympathized with Rasheeda, flooding her social media with messages of support. "Stay strong, Queen. We got your back," one fan posted. Others, surprisingly, backed Jasmine, claiming she deserved the upgrade after years of being dragged by the public. Jasmine won, Rasheeda lost. One harsh comment read, "The division among fans made the scandal even messier," with online arguments breaking out between the so-called Rasheeda army and the Jasmine supporters. Atlanta hadn't seen this level of chaos since the last major love and hip-hop feud, and producers were already licking their chops at the idea of bringing it all to screen. As the mansion saga unfolded, more shocking twists surfaced. Financial papers leaked online showing a large sum transferred from one of Kirk's business accounts to a luxury realtor in Atlanta. Though the documents were blurred and not fully verified, fans connected the dots immediately. "That's the down payment for Jasmine's house," one Twitter user insisted. Another wrote, "This is it, the receipts we've been waiting for." Whether authentic or not, the leaks added another layer of tension, painting Kirk as a man caught in lies, secrets, and betrayal. One night, cameras reportedly captured a heated confrontation between Rasheeda and Kirk in the driveway of their own home. Neighbors claimed they heard Rasheeda yelling, "You made me look like a fool again." Kirk's voice was raised too, though his words were less clear. What was clear, however, was the sight of Rasheeda wiping her face, storming inside, while Kirk stood outside, shoulders slumped, a broken man facing the fallout of his own actions. The clip quickly went viral, spreading across social media within hours, and fans declared it the end of the Frost marriage. Jasmine, on the other hand, continued to flaunt her lifestyle. She posted pictures from inside the mansion, the chandelier sparkling in the foyer, the massive swimming pool glistening under the night sky, the custom walk-in closet overflowing with designer bags. Every post felt like a provocation, a reminder that she had what Rasheeda did not, a mansion allegedly paid for by the man they both shared history with. And every post drove the wedge deeper, not just between Kirk and Rasheeda, but between their family, their fans, and the very city of Atlanta. What made the situation worse was Kirk's refusal to publicly address the allegations. He stayed silent on social media, posting only vague captions about staying focused and blocking out negativity. Fans saw his silence as guilt, and every minute he refused to clarify only made things worse. Rasheeda, meanwhile, posted a heartbreaking photo of herself without her wedding ring, captioning it, "Sometimes silence speaks louder than words." The internet erupted, fans speculating that she had finally reached her breaking point, that this was the end of an era. The mansion wasn't just a house, it became a symbol of betrayal, of lies, of wounds that never healed. For Rasheeda, it was the ultimate humiliation. For Jasmine, it was the ultimate triumph. And for Kirk, it was the ultimate mistake. The scandal consumed Atlanta, leaving fans glued to their phones, waiting for the next twist, the next leak, the next shocking confrontation. And if part 1 of this saga was this explosive, everyone knew the story had only just begun. Atlanta had seen scandals before, but nothing prepared the city for the storm that erupted the day. Rumors broke that Kirk Frost had allegedly paid for Jasmine Washington's $1 million mansion. The whispers grew into roars, the roars into chaos, until every corner of social media was buzzing with one question: did Kirk really betray Rasheeda once again? It started with a single blurry photograph. Kirk, dressed in his usual baseball cap and shades, spotted outside the gates of a luxury estate just weeks before Jasmine moved in. Blogs jumped on it instantly, captions screaming betrayal in all caps. Fans reposted the picture with comments like, "He never changes," and "Rasheeda deserves better." Within hours, the internet was flooded with theories, screenshots, and so-called receipts connecting Kirk's name to Jasmine's extravagant purchase. Rasheeda first heard about it through a phone call from a close friend. Her voice trembled as she listened, eyes fixed on her reflection in the mirror. "Girl, are you sitting down?" the friend whispered. "Because I need to tell you something. They're saying Kirk bought Jasmine that mansion. It's everywhere." Rasheeda froze. Her chest tightened. She whispered back, "No, not again. Please not again." When Kirk came home that night, the atmosphere was icy. Rasheeda stood in the living room, her arms crossed, tears threatening to spill. "Tell me the truth," she demanded, her voice low but sharp. "Did you buy Jasmine that house?" Kirk hesitated, rubbing the back of his neck. "It's not what you think," he muttered. Rasheeda's voice rose, trembling with rage. "Not what I think. Do you realize how humiliating this is for me? After everything we went through, after everything I forgave you for, you go and do this." Kirk tried to step closer, but she stepped back, shaking her head. "Don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me." An insider later revealed that Rasheeda collapsed onto the couch, sobbing uncontrollably. Her mother rushed to her side, fanning her face, while Kirk stood frozen, guilt written all over him. The betrayal cut deeper than any before. "You've made me look like a fool in front of the whole world," Rasheeda cried. "I can't take this anymore." Outside their home, cameras were already rolling. Paparazzi lenses caught glimpses of Kirk leaving the house late at night, his face heavy with shame. Gossip blogs posted the images with headlines like, "Kirk Frost sneaks out after Rasheeda breakdown and Frost marriage in shambles once again." Fans left comments like, "He'll never change," and "Rasheeda queen, leave him already." Meanwhile, Jasmine basked in the glow of her new mansion. She went live on Instagram, showing off the grand staircase, the sparkling chandelier, the pool glistening under the Atlanta sun. New beginnings, new blessings. She smiled, sipping wine. Her followers exploded in the comments. "Is that Kirk's money?" one asked. Another wrote, "You're wrong for this, Jasmine." But Jasmine only smirked, tossing her hair over her shoulder. "People love to assume," she said calmly. "A woman can't enjoy her success without y'all dragging a man into it." But fans weren't buying it. Eagle-eyed viewers spotted the same black Range Rover Kirk often drove parked outside her mansion in the background of one of her videos. "That's Kirk's car. We know it," a fan commented. Screenshots flew across Twitter, igniting hashtags like #KirksMansion, #JasmineWin, and #RASHEEDA betrayed. Emotions ran high, arguments exploded online, and the Frost family's dirty laundry was once again the hottest topic in Atlanta. In the Frost household, the children felt the impact too. Kirk's older kids confronted him at dinner. "How could you do this to Mom again?" one asked, voice shaking. Kirk slammed his fork down. "You don't know the pressure I'm under. You don't understand the whole story." But his words fell flat. The children exchanged looks of disappointment, their silence louder than any accusation. Rasheeda's friends didn't hold back either. Carly Red visited her the next day, holding her hand, whispering, "I told you, years ago, he would never change. This is who he is. Girl, he's never gonna respect you." Rasheeda's tears fell onto her lap as she whispered, "I wanted to believe he could change. I wanted to believe we had healed." Carly shook her head, fire in her voice. "A man who buys another woman a mansion has no respect for his wife. You need to protect your peace." As if things couldn't get worse, leaked financial documents surfaced online. Blurry screenshots of transactions showed large sums moved from one of Kirk's companies to a luxury realtor in Atlanta. Fans immediately connected the dots. "That's the down payment for Jasmine's house," one declared on Twitter. Another wrote, "This is it, the receipts we needed." Though Kirk never confirmed nor denied the documents, his silence only made fans believe they were real. Rasheeda, heartbroken, posted a cryptic message on Instagram, a picture of her hand resting on her lap, her wedding ring noticeably missing. Captioned, "Sometimes silence speaks louder than words." Fans flooded her comments with support. "Stay strong, queen. We love you, Rasheeda. Leave him, sis." The internet turned against Kirk overnight, branding him the villain once again. Jasmine, on the other hand, leaned into the chaos. She uploaded more photos from inside the mansion, her posing by the pool in a bikini, sipping cocktails in the kitchen, twirling in her massive walk-in closet. Every post felt like a slap in the face to Rasheeda, every caption dripping with confidence. "Blessed and unbothered," she wrote under one post. "When God opens a door, no one can close it." Fans dragged her in the comments, but Jasmine didn't care. She was winning the game of attention, and she knew it. Neighbors near Jasmine's mansion whispered to. One claimed she saw Kirk's car parked outside overnight more than once. Another swore she overheard Jasmine yelling during an argument with Kirk. Something about money being late and papers not signed. The stories spread across Atlanta like wildfire, adding more fuel to the scandal. Love and hip-hop producers couldn't believe their luck. Insiders revealed that cameras were already rolling, desperate to capture every tear, every scream, every confrontation. "This is gold," one producer allegedly said. "This storyline will carry the whole season." Rumors swirled that a face-to-face showdown between Jasmine and Rasheeda was already being planned. With Kirk caught in the middle, forced to answer the questions fans had been screaming for years. As the days went by, Rasheeda's anger began to replace her sorrow. One night, neighbors caught a heated confrontation between her and Kirk in the driveway. Her voice rang through the street. "You made me look like a fool again," Kirk shouted back, though his words were muffled. Cameras captured Rasheeda wiping tears before storming inside, leaving Kirk slumped against his car, looking like a broken man. The clip went viral within hours, fans declaring it the final straw. "That's it, they're done." One comment read, "Divorce papers, coming soon." But Kirk still refused to make a public statement. His Instagram remained vague, captions like "Stay focused and block out negativity." Fans saw it as cowardice, as guilt, as proof that he had indeed bought Jasmine's mansion. Meanwhile, Jasmine's smug smile lit up her feed daily, fueling the fire even more. The mansion became a symbol, not just of wealth, but of betrayal. For Rasheeda, it represented the ultimate humiliation. For Jasmine, it was victory. For Kirk, it was the grave mistake that might end his marriage for good. And yet, the story was far from over, because if the first few weeks of this scandal had already torn the Frost family apart, fans knew the next chapters would be even more explosive. The mansion wasn't just a house, it was a battleground. And everyone, from Rasheeda's loyal fans to Jasmine's quiet supporters, waited with bated breath for the war that was about to unfold. Rasheeda didn't sleep 4 nights. The mansion haunted her dreams like a shadow she couldn't escape. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Jasmine's smug smile framed by glittering chandeliers and marble floors. She could almost hear Jasmine's voice, taunting her, reminding her that Kirk had chosen to spend his fortune on another woman's comfort. Fans whispered that Rasheeda had locked herself in the guest room, refusing to share a bed with Kirk. Insiders claimed she stayed up until dawn, scrolling through comments online, her heart breaking a little more with every cruel word. "Leave him, sis. You're better than this. He'll never change, Rasheeda." Kirk tried to talk to her, but his words bounced off walls of pain and fury. One night he finally snapped, his voice trembling but loud. "You don't know the whole story." Rasheeda, standing in the doorway, folded her arms and hissed back. "Then tell me the story, Kirk. Tell me why you gave Jasmine a mansion while I've been the one holding your family, your career, and your dignity together." Silence followed. Kirk opened his mouth, but no words came out. The silence between them became unbearable. The children noticed too. Dinners turned into battlegrounds of tension. One child asked softly, "Mom, are you and Dad gonna split?" Rasheeda forced a smile, her eyes wet. "Don't worry, baby, Mommy's strong." But when she turned away, the tears poured down her face like a flood she could no longer hold back. Meanwhile, Jasmine doubled down on her mansion tour. She invited friends over for housewarming parties. Music blasting, champagne flowing, laughter echoing through the expensive halls. Social media lit up with clips of Jasmine dancing by the pool, her friends yelling, "To the good life." Fans dragged her in the comments, but Jasmine only grew bolder. At one point she looked directly into the camera, her smirk sharper than ever, and said, "Y'all worried about the wrong things. I'm living, and that's all that matters." Neighbors whispered louder now. One swore she saw Kirk leaving Jasmine's place at 3 in the morning. Another claimed Jasmine was overheard yelling about Kirk's promises and papers that weren't signed yet. Bloggers feasted on every scrap of rumor, turning whispers into headlines. Midnight visits confirm affair. One site declared. Jasmine demands more from Kirk. Another claimed the scandal wasn't just alive, it was thriving. Rasheeda's friends begged her to leave. Carly Red sat with her one afternoon, gripping her hand tightly. Sis, how many times you gonna let him play you? How many times? The world is laughing at you, and he's not even fighting to protect your name. Rasheeda wiped her tears, whispering, I loved him. I thought we could survive anything, but now I don't even recognize the man I married. Yandi Smith chimed in during a phone call, her voice firm. Rasheeda, you need to take your power back. Every time you let this slide, he loses respect. Every time you forgive, he pushes the line further. This isn't love, it's humiliation. Rasheeda sobbed, clutching the phone. I don't know if I'm strong enough. But Yandi cut her off. You are strong enough. Atlanta needs to see you rise, not fall. The mansion itself became a tourist attraction of gossip. Fans drove by just to snap photos, posting them online with captions like, "This the house Kirk paid for," or "Jasmine really living like the First Lady of Frost." The sight of it made people shake their heads, some in disgust, others in awe. One fan even went live outside the gates, whispering, "Y'all, this is crazy. I can't believe this is real." Rasheeda finally decided to confront Jasmine herself. Insiders revealed that she showed up unannounced, pulling up in her black SUV, slamming the door shut, and storming up the walkway. Jasmine opened the door, stunned, but quickly recovered with a sly smile. Well, look who finally came to see the palace." Rasheeda's voice shook with fury. "Don't play with me, Jasmine. I want answers. Did Kirk buy you this house?" Jasmine tilted her head, her smirk widening. "And if he did, what you gonna do about it?" The two women's voices clashed, neighbors gathering from a distance, phones recording. Rasheeda shouted, "You've been destroying my family for years." "Years, Jasmine. And now this. You flaunt a mansion like a trophy." Jasmine snapped back. "Don't blame me for your husband's choices. Maybe if you gave him what he wanted, he wouldn't be looking my way." The crowd gasped. The tension boiled over. Security had to step in, holding Rasheeda back as she lunged toward Jasmine, her face red with rage, her tears unstoppable. Clips of the confrontation hit the internet within hours. The video spread across every blog, every gossip site, every timeline. Fans were torn. Rasheeda had every right, one said. Another wrote, Jasmine exposed the truth, and it hurts. The comments exploded into thousands, dividing the fan base like never before. Kirk, caught in the middle, faced the storm of his life. He was bombarded with calls from producers, from family, from fans demanding answers. But he stayed silent, his guilt visible in every photograph, every appearance. People saw the slump in his shoulders, the tired look in his eyes. They knew he was breaking under the weight of his own secrets. Then came the twist no one expected. A leaked phone call surfaced online. In it, a man believed to be Kirk's voice could be heard saying, "Yeah, I made the payments. I had to keep her quiet. If Rasheeda finds out, it's over." The internet erupted. Fans screamed. He admitted it. This is the smoking gun. Though Kirk never confirmed it was him, the damage was irreversible. Rasheeda, upon hearing the recording, reportedly collapsed again, clutching her chest, whispering through sobs. He admitted it. He really did it. Blogs labeled the scandal the biggest betrayal of the year. Headlines screamed, Kirk Frost caught on tape, and Rasheeda left shattered by mansion bombshell. Atlanta streets buzzed with gossip, strangers debating the drama at cafes, salons, and barbershops. Everyone had an opinion, and no one was staying quiet. Through it all, Jasmine thrived. She posted a new photo shoot in front of her mansion, wearing a glittering gown. Her caption reading, "Queen of my castle." The post went viral instantly, fans flooding her comments with both love and hate. But Jasmine didn't care. For her, attention was power, and she had it in abundance. Rasheeda, however, decided to take her pain public. She appeared in a teary Instagram live, her voice cracking as she spoke. "To everyone watching, I want y'all to know I tried. I tried to hold my family together. I tried to believe in him. I tried to forgive. But there comes a point where a woman has to stand for herself." She wiped her tears and whispered, "I don't know what the future holds, but I know I can't live like this anymore." Fans flooded her live with hearts, words of encouragement, and promises of support. And just like that, the mansion wasn't just Jasmine's home anymore, it was the epicenter of a war that divided a family, shook a marriage, and captivated an entire city. Every passing day promised another twist, another revelation, another confrontation, and the world watched, breathless, as the story of Kirk, Rasheeda, and Jasmine spiraled deeper into chaos. Rasheeda thought the pain had reached its peak, but she was wrong. The mansion continued to cast a shadow over her life, taunting her with every new rumor and every new post Jasmine made. Atlanta wasn't just whispering anymore, it was shouting. Kirk bought Jasmine's $1 million mansion, was splashed across every blog and every headline. Fans who had once rooted for Rasheeda and Kirk as a power couple now openly mocked their downfall. He chose Jasmine over his wife, one Twitter user sneered. Rasheeda needs to leave and never look back. Kirk's silence was deafening. He avoided interviews, refused to answer fans online, and stayed hidden in his office for hours at a time. Rasheeda noticed the way he jumped whenever his phone buzzed, the way he guarded his calls, the way his eyes avoided hers. One evening, she finally snapped. "Who keeps calling you?" she demanded. Kirk sighed, running his hands over his face. "Business," he muttered. Rasheeda's voice rose, cracking with pain. "Business? Business doesn't buy a woman a mansion, Kirk. Business doesn't destroy a marriage." She broke down, sobbing, while Kirk just stood there, the walls closing in around him. The children bore the brunt of the chaos. Rumors followed them at school, with classmates whispering, "Your dad bought another woman a house." One of Kirk's sons confronted him in the kitchen. "Dad, did you really do it?" Kirk stared at him, his mouth opening but no words forming. Finally, he whispered, "I was just trying to fix things." His son's eyes burned with disappointment. "You broke everything instead." As if things couldn't spiral further, Jasmine dropped another bomb. She hosted an extravagant party at the mansion, inviting influencers, celebrities, and cameras. Videos showed her laughing under fireworks by the pool, champagne in hand, while guests shouted, "To Jasmine, the Queen of Atlanta." Clips hit the internet, and fans went berserk. "She's flaunting it in Rasheeda's face," one wrote. Another added, "This is disrespect on a whole new level." Rasheeda's friends saw the party and immediately rushed to her side. Carly Red shook her head, fury in her eyes. "Sis, she's mocking you. She's celebrating your pain." And he let her. Tears streamed down Rasheeda's face. "Why does she hate me this much? Why does he let her do this to me?" Behind closed doors, Kirk and Jasmine had their own battles. Insiders revealed that Jasmine screamed at him over money. "You promised me everything, Kirk. You said this house would be secure. You said you'd protect me. Where's the rest of the money?" Kirk snapped back. "You don't know the pressure I'm under. I'm already drowning." Jasmine. But Jasmine wasn't moved. She folded her arms and hissed, "If you don't keep your word, I swear I'll ruin you. I'll go public with everything." Kirk's face turned pale. And then came the twist no one saw coming. Leaked text messages allegedly between Kirk and Jasmine hit the blogs. In them, Kirk appeared to write, "The house is yours. Just don't push me right now. Rasheeda can't know the details." Another message from Jasmine read, "She already knows. Kirk, she'll never forgive you, but I'll always be here." The messages spread like wildfire, fans losing their minds. He admitted it again. "These receipts are undeniable." Rasheeda saw the texts and collapsed in her bedroom, sobbing so loudly her family could hear her through the walls. "He wrote it," she whispered. "He really wrote it. It's true." Her heart shattered. The betrayal so deep it felt physical. The Frost family name was in ruins. Business deals fell apart. Endorsements pulled away. Fans turned against Kirk in droves. "Cancel him," hashtags demanded. "Protect Rasheeda." But Jasmine wasn't done. She decided to up the stakes. She invited a gossip blogger into her mansion for an exclusive tour, walking them through every glittering room, her heels clicking confidently on the marble floors. "Welcome to my castle," she purred, sitting down in her lavish living room. The blogger asked the question everyone wanted to know. "Did Kirk buy this for you?" Jasmine leaned forward, her lips curling into a smirk. "A queen doesn't reveal all her secrets. But let's just say, I don't move without a king's blessing." The clip went viral instantly. Fans screamed, "She's taunting Rasheeda. She's admitting it without saying it." The tension in Atlanta reached explosive levels. Rasheeda finally decided she'd had enough. Insiders claimed she met with lawyers quietly, her eyes swollen from nights of crying. Her voice trembling as she said, "I can't live like this anymore. I need to protect myself." Whispers of divorce papers began to circulate, and fans held their breath, waiting for the final nail in the Frost marriage coffin. But Kirk, desperate to save himself, tried one last act. He arranged a secret meeting with Rasheeda in a quiet hotel lounge, begging for her forgiveness. "Please," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. "I made mistakes, but I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose our family." Rasheeda stared at him, her eyes empty. "You already lost me," she said softly, "the moment you chose her over us." The words cut Kirk deeper than any blade. He reached for her hand, but she pulled away. standing up and walking out of the lounge, leaving him broken, his sobs echoing in the silence. Outside, fans were waiting, cameras flashing, capturing the exact moment Rasheeda left him behind. The photos hit the blogs, headlines screaming, "Rasheeda walks away from Kirk Frost." Fans cheered for her strength, declaring, "Queen energy, she deserves peace. Jasmine can have him now." But Jasmine's victory lap was short-lived. New rumors spread that Kirk's finances were crumbling under the weight of the mansion payments. Insiders whispered that Jasmine demanded more money than Kirk could provide, threatening to expose him further if he didn't deliver. "He's trapped," one source said. "Jasmine holds all the power now." The mansion, once a symbol of luxury, turned into a prison of lies. Kirk spent nights alone, pacing, chain-smoking, drowning in regret. Jasmine reveled in the chaos, but behind her smile, some say she feared the backlash. Fans began showing up outside her mansion, chanting Rasheeda's name, holding signs that read Team Rasheeda and Home. The pressure mounted, the tension suffocating. Then came the final blow. A second leaked recording surfaced. This time Jasmine's voice could be heard saying, "I told him if he doesn't keep paying, I'll leak the papers. I'll show the world everything." Fans erupted. She blackmailed him. This was her plan all along. The scandal flipped once again, painting Jasmine not as the victim but as the mastermind. Rasheeda saw the recording and, for the first time in weeks, smiled faintly. "The truth always comes out," she whispered. Her friends rallied around her, praising her strength, while fans flooded her page with love. "You won without even fighting," they said. "Karma handled it." The mansion, once Jasmine's greatest triumph, became her curse. Producers circled like vultures, planning explosive reunions, confrontations, and confessions for the next season of Love and Hip Hop. The story wasn't ending, it was only shifting into a new chapter. And through it all, one fact remained unshakable. Kirk Frost's decision to fund that million-dollar mansion didn't just buy Jasmine a house. It bought him a lifetime of regret. It bought Rasheeda a broken heart. And it bought Atlanta the most explosive scandal in reality TV history. The fallout from the mansion scandal only grew darker with time. Atlanta became a city obsessed, every diner, every barbershop, every salon buzzing with one topic: Kirk Frost, Jasmine Washington, and the million-dollar house that shattered everything. The Frost family could not step outside without cameras flashing, neighbors whispering, fans recording. Their once private arguments became public entertainment. Every tear, every scream consumed by millions. Rasheeda struggled to hold herself together. She began avoiding social events, declining appearances, canceling business meetings. Her boutique staff whispered that she would sit in her office for hours, staring at her phone, scrolling through the endless stream of gossip. One employee recalled hearing her whisper, "I gave him my whole life, and he gave her a mansion." Her pain was no longer just personal, it was a spectacle for the world to devour. Kirk's businesses started collapsing under the weight of the scandal. Partners pulled out of deals, sponsors backed away, clubs refused to book him. One promoter bluntly said, "The Frost name is toxic right now." Kirk watched decades of hustle vanish overnight, and yet he couldn't publicly fight back. Jasmine's threats loomed over him like a guillotine. Every time he considered clearing his name, he remembered her warning. "If you don't keep paying, I'll leak everything." Every text, every paper, every secret. And Jasmine, emboldened by her position, flaunted her power more boldly than ever. She began hosting influencer brunches at the mansion, charging guests to enter her glittering halls, taking selfies on her grand staircase. "Welcome to the palace," she would laugh, as cameras rolled. Fans dragged her mercilessly online, calling her queen of scandal, Atlanta's villain. But Jasmine thrived on the attention. For her, hate was still power. The breaking point came when Rasheeda was invited onto a talk show to speak about the ordeal. Sitting under bright studio lights, her voice cracked as she addressed the rumors. "I'm not here to bash anyone," she began softly. "But I will say this, when you give your everything to someone, and they give their everything to someone else, that pain is indescribable." She paused, tears streaming down her cheeks. The audience gasped as she whispered, "I loved him through every mistake, but I can't love him through this mansion." The clip broke the internet. Fans flooded social media with support for Rasheeda, declaring her the true queen of Atlanta. "We stand with you," they wrote. "You don't need Kirk. You never did." Hashtags like #StandWithRasheeda and #QueenEnergy trended for days. Kirk's silence became even more damning, his reputation collapsing like sand slipping through fingers. Meanwhile, Jasmine faced her first real backlash. Crowds of angry fans gathered outside the mansion, chanting Rasheeda's name. holding signs that read "Karma is coming, and you can't buy respect." Jasmine went live to mock them, smirking into the camera. "They outside my gates, but I'm still inside living good," she said. But behind her smile, neighbors whispered she had grown paranoid. Installing extra cameras, hiring guards, terrified that the city's fury might spill into her glittering halls. The Frost children couldn't escape the chaos either. One of them lashed out on social media, posting a heartbreaking message. "Stop asking me about that mansion. We're hurting enough already." The post went viral, and fans realized the scandal wasn't just destroying a marriage, it was destroying a family. Then came the season of love and hip-hop that changed everything. Producers captured it all: the icy stares between Rasheeda and Kirk, the smug laughter from Jasmine, the explosive confrontations that left cast members screaming and crying. One scene showed Rasheeda facing Jasmine across a table, her hands trembling as she whispered, "You took everything from me." Jasmine smirked, replying, "No baby, he gave it to me." The table nearly flipped as castmates tried to hold Rasheeda back, her rage unstoppable. That clip alone broke records, becoming the most viewed moment in franchise history. But the real bombshell dropped during the reunion. Kirk was cornered by the host, asked point-blank, "Did you or did you not buy Jasmine that mansion?" Kirk's face went pale, sweat glistening under the lights. The audience screamed. Fans on social media waited with bated breath. Finally, he whispered, "I made mistakes, but I can't answer that." The crowd gasped, boos filled the stage, and Rasheeda burst into tears, storming off set. Jasmine laughed, fanning herself, saying, "That's all the answer you need." The fallout from the reunion was nuclear. Blogs declared the Frost marriage officially dead. Fans demanded Rasheeda file for divorce immediately. Memes flooded timelines, mocking Kirk as the man who bought betrayal and Jasmine as Atlanta's villainess. Kirk's name became a punchline, his legacy destroyed in real time. But Jasmine's victory began to rot from the inside. The same mansion that symbolized her triumph now became her cage. Financial records leaked, showing she was unable to maintain the lifestyle without Kirk's constant payments. Rumors spread that she begged him for more money, threatening to go public with even more secrets. Kirk, exhausted and broke, couldn't keep up. Rasheeda, however, rose from the ashes. She threw herself into her businesses, her music, her family. Fans rallied around her, supporting her boutiques, streaming her songs, flooding her comments with love. "Queen forever," they wrote. "You don't need him." Her strength became a movement, her heartbreak turning into inspiration. The scandal reached its final twist when federal whispers surfaced. Allegedly, Kirk's financial transfers to Jasmine had triggered investigations. Rumors of money laundering, tax evasion, and shady dealings swirled around him. Suddenly, the mansion wasn't just a symbol of betrayal, it was evidenced in a possible case. Fans gasped at the headlines. Kirk Frost under investigation over $1 million mansion. Jasmine panicked. Insiders claimed she screamed at Kirk over the phone, "You promised me I'd be safe. You promised me none of this would blow back." Kirk yelled back, "You ruined everything, Jasmine. Everything." The call ended with both in tears, their alliance shattered, their futures uncertain. Rasheeda, watching from the sidelines, finally felt a strange sense of peace. She whispered to a friend, "I didn't have to destroy them. They destroyed themselves." And with that, she walked forward, her head high, her heart bruised but stronger than ever. Fans were left stunned. The mansion that started as Jasmine's greatest prize ended as the Frost family's ultimate downfall. Kirk's silence, Jasmine's arrogance, Rasheeda's pain, all woven into a saga Atlanta would never forget. And though the story seemed to close, one question still lingered in every fan's mind. Was this the final chapter, or just another pause before the next explosive twist? The scandal no longer belonged to just Kirk, Rasheeda, and Jasmine. It belonged to the entire city of Atlanta. It belonged to the fans, the producers, the bloggers, the paparazzi. Everywhere you turned, the mansion was the story. Taxi drivers debated it on late-night runs. Beauty salons echoed with women shaking their heads. "Child, did you hear? Kirk paid for her whole house." Barbershops filled with men sighing, "He messed up bad. No, coming back from this." Even schools buzzed with gossip, kids whispering about the Frost family like it was part of the curriculum. Rasheeda reached a point where her silence was no longer protection, it was suffocation. She began meeting with her closest circle in private. "I can't keep letting this eat me alive," she admitted, her voice breaking. "Everywhere I go, people look at me like I'm weak, like I'm the fool who let her husband buy his mistress a castle." Her friends leaned in, urging her to speak her truth, to reclaim her power. But Rasheeda's hesitation was clear. "If I expose him, if I speak, it's not just him I destroy. It's our children. It's the life we built. Kirk, meanwhile, was drowning. His phone never stopped ringing. Creditors, producers, friends turned enemies. He sat in his office surrounded by papers, bills, contracts, all screaming the same word: failure. His reflection in the glass window looked like a stranger. How did it get this bad? He muttered to himself. How did I let her pull me this far under? Jasmine's threats rang in his ears like sirens. Keep paying or I'll ruin you. And Jasmine, intoxicated by her perceived victory, began stepping into circles she had never touched before. She hired stylists, publicists, even a manager, branding herself as the queen of Atlanta lifestyle. She booked photo shoots in front of her mansion, appearing in glittering gowns with captions like "Built Not Bought." Fans dragged her mercilessly, yet her following grew. Hate me or love me, you watching me. She smirked in one video, sipping champagne on her balcony, but the cracks began to show. Neighbors whispered of loud fights inside the mansion. Some claimed to hear Kirk's voice, raised in anger, Jasmine shouting back about broken promises and unpaid balances. One neighbor even claimed to see Kirk storm out at dawn, slamming his car door, his face twisted with rage. Rumors spread that Jasmine demanded renovations, new marble counters, imported chandeliers, and Kirk simply couldn't keep up financially. Rasheeda's children reached their breaking point too. One night, as Kirk tried to sit with them, his son snapped, "Why are you even here? You gave her everything and left us with nothing but shame." Kirk's face crumbled. "I didn't mean to hurt you," he whispered, but the silence that followed was heavy, suffocating. On social media, fans tore Kirk apart daily. Every photo he posted was met with comments like, "Where's Jasmine's rent money, Kirk?" Or "Is this caption sponsored by the mansion payments?" The mockery was endless, his reputation shredded beyond repair. He stopped posting altogether, retreating into silence, but even silence couldn't save him. Rasheeda, however, began to rise again. Slowly, quietly, she poured her energy into her businesses, launching new collections, opening new ventures. Fans flocked to support her, buying everything she released, filling her stores with love. She became a symbol of resilience, of survival, of a woman who could endure betrayal and still stand tall. Interviews praised her strength. Magazines featured her as the Phoenix of Atlanta. The mansion itself became cursed ground. Protesters gathered outside weekly, chanting Rasheeda's name, blasting Kirk for betrayal. Some fans even hurled eggs at the gates, shouting home. Jasmine watched from her windows, fury boiling inside. She went live one night, screaming into the camera, "Y'all obsessed with me. Obsessed. I'm not going anywhere." Her rant went viral, fans calling it her meltdown. Kirk and Jasmine's alliance soon fractured beyond repair. When the federal whispers about financial investigations became louder, Jasmine panicked. "You said I'd be untouchable," she screamed at Kirk during a heated call. "You promised this wouldn't come back to me." Kirk shouted back, "You were supposed to keep quiet. You were supposed to play your part." Their screaming match leaked online through a mysterious insider, fueling the chaos even more. Fans went wild, they turning on each other. Karma is here. The scandal reached new heights. At the height of Atlanta's gala season, Rasheeda arrived alone, her gown catching the light. Every step met with flashing cameras and cheers. Across town, Jasmine posted from her mansion draped in diamonds, her caption sharp as a blade: "The real queen doesn't need a carpet." The contrast split the city. Online, fans crowned Rasheeda the victor in grace, Jasmine in audacity, and Kirk as the ultimate loser. As weeks bled into months, the weight broke Kirk. He drank too much, hid from friends, and muttered about mistakes that could not be undone. "I lost everything," he told a confidant. "My wife, my kids, my respect for a house I don't even belong in." Jasmine's kingdom crumbled too. The money slowed, the parties stopped, and her mansion grew quieter each night. Bitter captions filled her feed. "They cheer your rise, but they live for your fall." Fans mocked her mercilessly. Rasheeda, meanwhile, rose. A smiling photo with her children captioned "Simply Healing" spread like wildfire. Support poured in. She became more than a cast member. She was a survivor, a message, a crown forged from heartbreak. The mansion itself became infamous. To many, it symbolized betrayal and ruin. People whispered as they passed, "This house broke a family." Rasheeda still fought shadows at night, scrolling Jasmine's feed, whispering through tears, "Why wasn't I enough?" Kirk's reflection mocked him daily, whispers in clubs, branding him the man who bought his mistress a mansion. Jasmine strutted at first, calling the estate her castle, but cracks widened. Neighbors noted the silence. Staff dwindled. She walked empty halls like a queen of nothing. Rasheeda leaned into resilience. A storm clears your path, she told an interviewer. The applause crowned her, the phoenix. Kirk begged with late-night calls, but Rasheeda deleted them. You made your bed, lie in it. Then came the leak. Bank documents showing Kirk had funneled $500,000 into Jasmine's house. Proof. His silence sealed his fate. His empire collapsed at the Love and Hip Hop reunion. Rasheeda cut him down. He didn't just buy her a house. He bought her a throne while tearing apart his family. Jasmine smirked. And I look damn good on that throne. The stage erupted. Fans online exploding with fury. Off camera. Kirk panicked over looming charges. Jasmine grew desperate. If I go down, you go too. His broken reply. You already dragged me to hell. Rasheeda transformed her pain into power, speaking to women about betrayal and survival. She became a beacon. Meanwhile, buses drove by Jasmine's mansion, tourists pointing and calling it cursed. The house branded her forever. Still, the questions hung. Was Kirk blackmailed? Did Jasmine scheme at all? Would Rasheeda finally sever him for good? Atlanta buzzed with no answers, only fire. Kirk wept over old photos. Jasmine muttered in her empty rooms. They'll never see me as more than the villain. Rasheeda, steadier than ever, whispered to her mirror. They'll remember me as the one who survived. And so the mansion stood, not as a prize, but as a monument of betrayal, a reminder that wealth cannot buy loyalty, lies cannot bury truth, and betrayal will always demand its price. Atlanta would never forget. Neither would the world. You're inspiring us, they said. But every word of support also reminded her of her humiliation. She smiled for them, posted empowering captions online. But late at night she sat in the quiet, whispering to herself, how long can I keep pretending I'm unshaken? Her phone lit up constantly with new updates, new proof of Kirk's betrayal, each one reopening the wound. The Frost home had turned into a Cold War zone. Kirk and Rasheeda barely spoke, and when they did, it was short, sharp, and painful. You've ruined everything, she hissed one night as Kirk tried to explain himself. Don't you get that? Kirk rubbed his face, pacing. I made mistakes, but I still love you. Rasheeda's laugh was bitter. Love? Is that what you call this? Love is not receipts with your name on a villa. Love is not voicemail promises to Jasmine. You don't even know what love is anymore. Their children heard the shouting, and the silence that followed was worse, heavy, aching, a silence that choked the house. Outside their gates, paparazzi lived like vultures. Neighbors complained about flashing cameras, about bloggers camped in cars waiting for Kirk or Rasheeda to step outside. One paparazzo even caught Jasmine pulling up to the villa, dressed in red, stepping confidently through the gates. The photos spread like wildfire, and fans lost their minds. She's bold enough to walk right in while Rasheeda bleeds. She has no shame. Emotions ran high, the internet seething with fury. While Jasmine remained silent, sipping champagne behind the villa's tall walls. Then came another bombshell. TMZ dropped documents showing that Kirk had funneled money into a shell company months before the villa purchase. Fans connected the dots immediately. That's how he paid for it. One post screamed. He thought he was slick. Outrage poured in. Kirk tried to deny it, posting a shaky video online, muttering, "Y'all don't know the whole story." But fans weren't buying it. The comments were brutal. Stop lying. We saw the receipts. Rasheeda deserves better. The video only deepened the humiliation. Jasmine, on the other hand, leaned further into her villain role. She posted a photo on the villa's balcony, the city skyline behind her, with the caption, "When you win, you win." Fans flooded her comments with rage, calling her cruel, heartless, shameless. You're living in another woman's tears. One wrote. Jasmine replied with a smirking emoji, and the internet exploded again. The family was left divided, the fans even more polarized, and the tension reached a breaking point. Love and Hip Hop producers seized the chaos, setting up the most explosive confrontation yet. Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine in the same room. The cameras rolled as Rasheeda sat across from Jasmine, her eyes cold, her hands clenched into fists. Kirk sat between them, sweating, trying to keep peace, but he had no control anymore. Rasheeda's voice cut through the silence. You sit in that villa, built on lies. You sip your wine and laugh at my pain. But understand this, you'll never have what I gave him. You'll never have my years, my loyalty, my sacrifices. Jasmine smirked, leaning forward. He gave me what he wanted to give me. Maybe that's something you couldn't keep. The room erupted. Rasheeda stood, her tears streaming, screaming. You think this is a game? This is my life, my family, my heart. Kirk tried to calm her, but the audience gasped as Rasheeda shoved the receipts into his chest again, shouting, "Your name is right there. Stop pretending." The clip, leaked before the episode aired, went viral instantly, and then the unthinkable happened. Another voicemail surfaced, longer and clearer than the first two. Kirk's voice was unmistakable. "Don't worry, baby. The villa's under your name. Rasheeda will forgive me eventually. She always does. Just stay low until it dies down." The betrayal in those words shattered what little hope fans had for the Frost marriage. He called her predictable. He counted on her forgiveness. "That's sick," one fan wrote. Others begged Rasheeda to leave immediately. The voicemail trended for days, the audio remixed into TikTok's parodies, even rap freestyles mocking Kirk. Rasheeda's collapse became legendary, but so did her rebirth. She began posting motivational messages, speaking about betrayal without naming Kirk, and fans rallied behind her. "She's not just surviving, she's thriving," they said. She launched new products at her boutique, promoted them with the tagline "From Collapse to Crown," and sales skyrocketed. Her pain had turned into power, her heartbreak into business. But even as fans cheered her on, she whispered privately, "I still cry every night." They don't see that part. The villa, now infamous, became Atlanta's most talked about landmark. People drove past just to snap pictures. Influencers filmed videos outside the gates, calling it the house that broke Atlanta. Memes flourished. Kirk photoshopped into construction gear with captions like "Building homes, breaking hearts." Jasmine lounging on a throne labeled Queen of Chaos. Rasheeda rising from flames like a phoenix. It was no longer just a scandal, it was a cultural phenomenon. Cast members piled on. Carly Red accused Jasmine again on Instagram Live, saying, "Girl, you living in lies. Don't think that villa makes you powerful." Young Jock shook his head on air. "Man, Kirk made Atlanta history for all the wrong reasons. Ain't no bouncing back from this." Even Yandy Smith posted a cryptic tweet. "Some women deserve to rise. Some men deserve to fall." Every voice added pressure. Every comment drove the story deeper into infamy. By now, Kirk's finances were unraveling. Deals collapsed. His business name dragged down by scandal. Whispers spread that he might lose not just the villa but other properties tied to his name. Fans speculated. Karma finally caught up. Jasmine remained smug, posting photos and designer clothes, while Kirk looked gaunt, worn down, broken. Rasheeda, on the other hand, shone brighter, her silence now power, her presence now commanding. The question on everyone's lips: what would Rasheeda do next? Would she walk away and leave Kirk in the ruins he built? Or would she stay, once again, shocking the world with forgiveness? Fans argued endlessly. If she stays, she's a fool, some said. Others whispered, if she leaves, she'd be unstoppable. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided. And the villa remained the center of it all, a monument to betrayal. A curse carved in marble. A house that turned love into ashes. And as Atlanta watched, as fans cried, as bloggers dissected, one truth was certain. This was no longer just a scandal. It was history. A saga that would live on in whispers, hashtags, and heartbreak. The hidden villa had destroyed a marriage, shattered a family, and changed Atlanta forever. The mansion was no longer just a house in Atlanta. It had become a ghost that haunted everyone tied to it. Its marble halls echoed not only Jasmine's laughter but the cries of a family torn apart. Every chandelier, every polished tile seemed soaked in betrayal. Fans who once dreamed of stepping into such a palace now drove past its gates only to shake their heads and whisper, "That's the house that broke Rasheeda." Rasheeda's pain had turned into a strange kind of strength. She woke up each day, wiped her tears, and forced herself into her businesses. She greeted customers, signed autographs, and smiled for cameras. But when the lights dimmed, the ache returned. "I gave him my best years," she whispered one night, staring at old photos of her and Kirk. "And he gave her a castle." Still, her determination hardened. "He may have given her a mansion, but he'll never take my crown." Kirk, meanwhile, had become a shell of himself. Once sharp, confident, always ready with a smirk, he now walked with slumped shoulders and eyes that carried storms. He avoided cameras, ducked out of events, ignored calls from producers. Insiders claimed he sat in silence for hours, sipping from bottles, whispering, "I lost it all." When friends tried to console him, he snapped, "Don't tell me it'll be okay. I bought her that house, and it destroyed everything." Jasmine's victory had started to rot. The more she flaunted her mansion, the more fans turned on her. What once brought her thousands of likes now flooded her comments with hate. "Homewrecker," they typed. "Enjoy it while it lasts." She laughed it off online, but behind closed doors she grew paranoid. She paced her halls at night, checking the locks twice, staring at the gates through her cameras. Sometimes she swore she heard voices outside chanting Rasheeda's name. Neighbors whispered about the chaos. One said, "We hear her screaming sometimes, fighting on the phone. It's always about money, about promises broken." Another added, "The mansion looks glamorous outside, but inside it's a battlefield." Rumors spread that Jasmine and Kirk had explosive late-night fights inside those walls, shouting so loud the street could hear. "I told you, if you stop paying me, I'll end you," Jasmine allegedly screamed. Kirk's voice cracked in reply, "I have nothing left to give." The internet was relentless. Every new rumor became a trending topic. Fans picked apart every post, every caption. When Rasheeda uploaded a photo without her wedding ring, hashtags like #RASHEED trended for days. When Kirk was spotted leaving Jasmine's mansion at dawn, blurry photos fueled another wave of outrage. "He still can't let her go," fans wrote. "He's addicted to his own destruction." Love and hip-hop producers seized the chaos. They crafted episodes filled with raw confrontations. One scene showed Rasheeda facing Kirk, her voice trembling as she said, "You didn't just betray me, you embarrassed me in front of the whole world." Kirk sat silent, eyes wet, unable to reply. Another scene cut to Jasmine smirking in her mansion, saying, "If he gave it to me, that's between us." Maybe she should have kept her man happy. The audacity sent fans into flames. Twitter exploded with, "She really said that, and Rasheeda should have slapped her right there." The reunion became legendary. The stage shook with screams. Chairs scraped as castmates tried to hold Rasheeda back when Jasmine taunted her. Kirk sat hunched, sweat dripping, muttering, "Please stop, please." The host leaned in, asking the question that had haunted everyone for months. "Kirk, did you buy Jasmine that mansion?" The audience held its breath. Fans online froze mid-tweet. Kirk's lips trembled. "I made payments," he whispered. Gasps erupted. Rasheeda broke down, screaming, "Payments? You call destroying your family payments?" Jasmine smirked, blowing a kiss to the camera, whispering, "Thank you, Kirk." The clip shattered the internet. Millions watched, millions commented. Memes of Kirk crying, Rasheeda screaming, Jasmine smirking spread across timelines. It was no longer just a scandal, it was history. The Frost Mansion saga became the defining betrayal of reality TV. But reality off-camera was even darker. Kirk faced financial collapse. Creditors circled, lawyers called, investigations whispered. Jasmine demanded more, her voice like a blade. "You think you can walk away? You think you can cut me off? I own you, Kirk." His hands shook as he replied, "You've already destroyed me. What more do you want?" Her reply was simple, everything. Rasheeda's healing grew louder. She launched new ventures, wrote music laced with pain and power, appeared on stages where fans screamed her name. She looked into the cameras and declared, "Pain is temporary. Strength is forever." Women in the crowd wiped tears, shouting, "We love you, Rasheeda." Her star rose brighter than ever, built not on Kirk's shadow but on her own resilience. The mansion, however, became infamous. Tours drove by it, guides whispering, "There it is, the house that ruined a marriage." Tourists snapped photos. Fans left notes at the gates, some in support of Rasheeda, some mocking Jasmine. The house stood glittering in the sun, but inside it was silent, heavy, cursed. One night, Kirk sat alone in his car parked outside, staring at its gates. His eyes burned with regret. "I gave you everything," he muttered, "and you turned it into my coffin." Jasmine's lights flickered in the windows, her silhouette moving across the rooms. Kirk's tears fell onto his steering wheel. "Rasheeda was my home," he whispered, "and I traded her for this prison." Jasmine, inside, scrolled through hateful comments, her hands trembling. "They'll never see me as a queen," she whispered to herself. "No matter how much I show them, they'll never love me." She closed her phone, the silence of the mansion swallowing her whole. Rasheeda, meanwhile, sat with her kids, laughter finally returning to her home. She kissed their foreheads and whispered, "We survived." The scars remained, but so did the strength. And the mansion continued to stand, glittering in the Atlanta sun, cursed and celebrated, hated and remembered. Fans never forgot it. They still debate it, still fight about it, still drive past it and whisper, "That's the house that destroyed the Frost family." The story of Kirk Frost, Rasheeda, and Jasmine Washington has unfolded like a storm Atlanta will never forget. What began with whispers about $1 million mansion turned into a saga of betrayal, humiliation, manipulation, and survival. The mansion became more than just a house, it became a weapon. It became the ultimate symbol of choices that broke a marriage, split a family, and shook an entire city. Rasheeda collapsed, rose, and stood again, proving that even when love shatters, strength can still shine. Kirk crumbled under the weight of his own secrets, his silence louder than any confession. Jasmine flaunted, mocked, and fought, turning her mansion into a castle, but a castle surrounded by shadows. And through every twist, every leak, every scream caught on camera, fans watched with their jaws on the floor, unable to look away. But here's the truth, this isn't just their story. This is a story that hits deeper. It's about betrayal that cuts through trust. About how public humiliation feels heavier than private pain. About how love and loyalty can be traded for marble floors and chandeliers. It's about choices. Kirk's choices, Jasmine's choices, and Rasheeda's choice to rise when the world expected her to fall. Now, we turn to you. Do you believe Kirk really funded Jasmine's mansion? Was he blackmailed into it, or did he willingly choose to betray Rasheeda all over again? Do you think Jasmine's confidence was victory or desperation? And most of all, should Rasheeda finally cut Kirk off for good, or is there still room for forgiveness in this tangled mess? The Frost family is divided. Atlanta is divided. And now it's your turn to decide where you stand. Are you Team Rasheeda, standing tall through heartbreak and humiliation? Are you Team Jasmine, claiming the crown no matter how messy the game? Or do you still defend Kirk, a man torn between two worlds, drowning in his own regrets? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this saga is far from over. The mansion may stand still, silent under the Atlanta sun, but its story continues every time you speak on it, every time fans choose a side, every time another twist comes to light. And let's be real, there will be more twists. There always are, because when it comes to Kirk, Rasheeda, and Jasmine, the drama never dies. It only transforms. The fans are already asking what comes next. Will divorce papers be signed? Will Jasmine expose more receipts? Will Kirk finally confess the full truth? Or will a brand new scandal rise from the ashes of this one? One thing's for sure, you won't want to miss what happens next. So if you've been hooked by this saga, if you've been shocked, outraged, entertained, or even heartbroken, then now's your moment. Hit that like button to show your support. Smash that subscribe if you want to stay locked in for every new twist and turn. And don't just watch. Silently be part of the conversation. Comment your thoughts, your predictions, your sides. Who do you stand with? What do you believe? Because your voice matters in this story. The fans built the narrative, the fans carried the fire, and the fans will decide how history remembers this mansion. Will it be remembered as Jasmine's triumph, as Kirk's downfall, or as the storm that crowned Rasheeda the true queen of Atlanta? The cameras may stop rolling, but the debate will never stop burning. So join in, make your voice heard, and stay tuned. Because in this world of love, lies, and luxury, the truth is never simple. The drama is never finished, and the next bombshell is always just one heartbeat away. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Be part of the army that keeps this story alive. Because if there's one thing Atlanta has taught us, it's that mansions may crumble, marriages may collapse, but the drama never dies.